Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's Daily Draft. Today's the day I'm sure you've all been waiting for. Well, today for me, yesterday for you as you see this. Tales of Middle-earth, the Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering set is available on Arena to be drafted, and that is what we are doing today. We are in with the general populace. We've already got 2 draft videos posted to the channel from early access, but now's the time when we all get to learn together. You get to learn as you are able to draft at home by yourself. It's going to be a great time. I know many of you have been super excited for this set for a long time, as have I. It's going to be great. We've got Premier Draft Lord of the Rings on deck today. So we're going to get into Pack 1 Pick 1 as I know you want to. But before we do, a quick message from me. Thanks, me. If you appreciate the content here on the channel, why don't you go ahead and head over to the Daily Draft Patreon page where you can find ways to give back with some incredible benefits included. I pride myself in my Patreon being incredibly affordable, beginning at just one singular US dollar per month, which comes with lifetime access to the Daily Drafters Discord server. I mean, what's $1? And for just $3, you can get access to the Discord as well as early access to every single upload on the channel. You'll see them as soon as I'm done editing. I mean, who doesn't love a good binge? And the most expensive level of support is just $5 US. That's right, $5 is the highest level of support on my Patreon, and Patreons in this tier gain access to my expansive, exhaustive, and interactable tier lists, of which you can see a small sample of here. You get to see how I rate every single card in the set from A to F, whether or not the card has moved up or down since the last update, and you can hover over the card to see a clickable link that brings you straight to Scryfall. And I customize these tier lists for every single draftable archetype in the format. Looking to see how a card fits into blue-white as opposed to black-white? I got you covered. Again, all of these tiers are incredibly affordable, so go ahead and check them out. If a monetary donation isn't your speed, a subscription to the channel is always contribution enough. Thanks so much for your consideration. And here we are in Pack 1, Pick 1, with a really good pack to be honest. So we've got Eowyn Fearless Knight, which is really good in red-white aggro, 4 mana 3/4 haste. ETBs exile a creature an opponent controls with greater power, and then legendary creatures gain protection from those colors. There's Samwise the Stout-Hearted, which is very good. 2 mana 2/1 flash, can regrow something. There's also Bitter Downfall, which is 4 mana destroy a creature, deal 2 to them. And it could even cost 3 less if that creature was dealt damage. And there's what I think might be the best black common, and maybe even the best common in the set, Dunlin Crebain. 3 mana 1/1 flyer, when it ETBs amass orcs 2. Those are the 3 cards that I'm looking at here. Like 4 cards, I guess. I am already of the opinion, for those of you that don't know and are new here and didn't see any of the early access content as well, I think black's the best color in this format by a lot. So if I can find my way into black early in these drafts just to confirm that for you all in these first few drafts, that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So I'm going to start with Bitter Downfall here, and we're going to go from there. Okay, so not great follow-ups for a black card to start, to be honest. There is Nasty End, which I think is a good card, but I don't know if it's worth taking this early. There's also Ithilien Kingfisher, 3 mana 2/1 flyer. When it dies, you draw a card. There's Gimli for maybe a red-black amass aggro deck, 4 mana 4/3 trample. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, Gimli deals 1 damage to that creature's controller. Prince Imrahil, I mean, that's diving right into blue-white, which is a good deck, I think. Same with Gandalf's Sanction, 3 mana, removal spell. I don't know how much I want to hold on to black here. I guess I could take Nasty End. This is kind of an awkward pack just to stay a little bit open. I do think the card's pretty good. I don't think it's as good as the other cards that I mentioned, but it's what I'll take here. So, all right, pick 3. Grima Wormtongue, 3 mana 1/4. Your opponents can't gain life, which is important in this set because of food. You can also tap to sack a creature to drain or ping them for 1, and if the creature was legendary, you amass orcs 2. So it's either that or the Mouth of Sauron here, which is 5 mana for a 3/4. When it ETBs, target player mills 3 cards, then you amass X, where it's the number of instant sorcery cards in that player's graveyard. This is a really good card. I could just stay black with Grima Wormtongue, but I think the Mouth of Sauron is that much better than Grima Wormtongue that I'd rather just take it here. I think that's what I'll do. Oh, you guys know how much I love the Troll of Khazad-dûm. This card is insane. I mean, 6 mana, 6/5, Super Menace. And when you can't cast it for 6 mana, you just pay 1 and pitch it. I had so much fun with this card in early access and had so much success with it too. But here's the issue. There's 4 of Orcs in the pack, which might be the best uncommon in the entire set. 4 mana Amass Orcs 2. When you do, it deals X damage to a creature an opponent controls, where X is the amassed army's power. As much as I love Troll of Khazad-dûm, I think I've got to take 4 of Orcs here. Faramir's also very good, don't get me wrong. But I think I've got to speculate on the 4 of Orcs because of how good that card is. Okay, what do we have here? We've got Deceive the Messenger, which is a blue card I do really like. Could go with the Mouth of Sauron. Old Man Willow is a really good card. I wonder if there's a good way to splash it. There's not great fixing in this set that I've seen, especially if you're not base green. So this is very good, though. So it's like a 4 mana XX, where X is your lands. And when it attacks, you can sacrifice a creature or a token to give something -2/-2. It's just so good. There's Swarming of Moria, there's Oligai Crusher. These are all pretty good for this red-black deck here. You know, maybe we can find enough treasure builders to fit in Old Man Willow here. I think this card's good enough that I'm willing to try to fit it in, so we'll see. Sam's Desperate Rescue is a good card, a card I wouldn't mind playing. There's a lot of decent white here. There's also an Isolation at Orthanc and a War Beast. The War Beast I don't think we need for red-black, so it's a 5 mana 5/4 when it or another creature you control with power 4 or greater dies, you amass 2. There's Isolation of Orthanc, and I think that's what I'm gonna take. Sam's Desperate Rescue. I mean, it's good with these 2 cards. I think I'll just take the Orthanc, though. Inherited Envelope is not really the fixing you're looking for in this set. Peregrine Took is a very good card. 3 mana 2/3. 1 or more tokens would be created. That many plus an additional food are created. You could sack 3 foods to draw a card. There's the Generous Ent, which is the Forest Cycler. That could enable the splash for Old Man Willow. That's kind of like fixing. Let's go ahead and take that. That kind of opens up the splash for Old Man Willow here. Gosh, lots of really good white cards coming by. Do I need to switch into white? My deck is already a mess. Hobbit Sting is great in aggressive white decks. Errand Rider of Gondor is great in most white decks. These are my top 2 white commons, to be honest. And they're still here. I guess I'll take that. So someone took the AON, which makes sense. Gimli's Fury, whatever. Haunt of the Dead Marshes. Fine. Fog on the Barrow Downs is like a bad pacifism. Nimble Hobbit I don't care about. If white is this open, look at green-white. Here we go. Pippin's Bravery, Brandywine Farmer, Earthling, East Farthing Farmer. So green-white, as much as I liked the start that we had, we're getting cut out of it pretty hard here. So I think I'm going to take the East Farthing Farmer and continue to go into white. See, look, now here's an Ent's Fury. That's a pretty late Ent's Fury as well. 2 mana sorcery, put a counter on a creature if it's 4 or greater, and then it gets +1/+1 and fights. So you could just +1/+1 and fight if you don't have a creature 4 or greater. There's Rockets to splash. Guess I'll take the green, and Hobbit Sting really late. So I think green-white is probably looking to be pretty darn open here. Ooh, and then we get Radagast the Brown. 4 mana 2/5. Whenever it or another non-token creature ETBs under your control, look at the top X cards where X is that creature's mana value. You can reveal a creature that doesn't share a creature type with a creature you control into your hand. And then there's a Lost to Legend, and there's a Frodo Baggins, and there's a Galadrim Guide and Ent's Fury. So we're going to wheel something here. As, you know, as spicy of a start as I think we had, I think we have to take the open lane here, right? And just go green-white. Frodo's also very good. I would love to have a Frodo in the deck. And I would love to have a Lost to Legend as well, but I think I'm taking the Radagast here. And maybe we can open a splash if we can find a Troll of Khazad-dûm. We can splash Bitter Downfall and Old Man Willow, something like that. But I think green-white is just the deck for us here. So I'll keep it like this for now. Green-white in this set cares most about food. Oh, and then there's a Lobelia Sackville Baggins, which is also really good. And a Bitter Downfall and a Troll. So 3 mana, 2/3 Flash Menace. Whenever ETBs. What are we? Do we go green-black even though white was so open? Is that better than... I think this is better than Bitter Downfall. When it ETBs, you exile a creature from an opponent's graveyard that was put there from this battlefield this turn. Create X treasure tokens where it's that creature's power. There's another Bitter Downfall, which is great. I don't think the Troll wheels as much as I love the card. It would be outstanding if it did. Maybe the Shire Terrace can wheel to help splash. I don't know how we're going to make this mana work, but I'm taking the best cards out of these packs. Okay, no white here. I mean, there's a white, but I don't care about it. Really no black that I particularly care about either. There is a Woe's Pathfinder, which could enable a white splash. The only problem is I could enable a black splash too if we go green-white. The white cards I don't really care about splashing. The black cards I do. So I'll take the Woe's Pathfinder, I think. And already diving off the deep end here in the first real draft here of Lord of the Rings, which is probably not where you want to be in this set if I had to guess, all this multicolor nonsense, but like I say, I'm here to waste my gems so you don't have to. Saruman of Many Colors. I don't think that is going to be the way we're going here. There's a Shadow Summoning. This card is so good as well. So Bag-End Porter if we just wanted to stay green. But Shadow Summoning is so busted. 2 mana, create 2 tapped 1/1 white spirits with flying. Or then Eagles of the North as well, which plane cycles. Radagast, Old Man Willow are like the 2 best cards in our deck, basically. I don't know. I'm going to take the Shadow Summoning. Maybe there's like a... Yeah, see, now there's Denethor, which makes me say that black-white is probably the color we want to pair with white from this direction. We're giving out on some green here, but I mean, 3 mana, 2/4 at the beginning of your end step. If a creature died, make a 1/1 under your control. And then you can pay 2 to sack a creature to drain them. That means if you can get the ball rolling with a 1/1 token, you sack it for 2 mana. Every turn, you pay 2 mana to drain every single turn, which is great. So let's take Denethor and a second Denethor, I guess. See, Pippin's Bravery is the only green card here. Mordor Muster is a pretty good one I wouldn't mind playing as well, but we'll take a second Denethor. Alright, there's the Woe's Pathfinder. I'm just wondering, what's our chance of being green? Probably not great. I'm thinking Old Man Willow and Generous Ent right now. Probably can't splash Radagast. I don't care about most of these black cards here. The Morgul Knife Wound has been fine. 2 mana, -3, -0, and they have to pay 2 life if they want to keep it. Shelob's Ambush is an okay combat trick as well. Alright, Errand Rider of Gondor came back. 3 mana, 3/2. We do have Lobelia, we have Denethor. So we've got some legendary creatures already to make sure we can keep that card. 3 mana, 3/2, you draw a card, and you have to put one on the bottom if you don't control a legendary creature. So I'll take the Errand Rider. Wizard's Rockets could enable a splash. It's not great, but I mean, could get a little greedy with the Radagast splash as well. Shire Terrace helps with the splashes. Also Protector of Gondor. How much do I care about that? As opposed to trying to make sure I can get the Old Man Willow and stuff in this deck. I'll take my first Shire Terrace, I think. All the black cards are coming back here. We don't have great sack outlets for the Haunt. ETB's Scry one, you can return it if you control a legendary creature. I guess I'll take my first taunt just in case we get Alright, Eagles of the North, pretty good in case we get combos with it. Well, Shire Scarecrow is a way to splash, but not a good way. Alright, Mines of Moria, no thanks. This is one of the worst rare colored lands. There are some really good ones in this set. The Shire, which is the green one, is great. Minas Tirith, which is the white one, is pretty good, and the blue one's also very good. But for us, if we're thinking black-white, we've got Gothmog, which I do really like. 4 mana, 3/3, amass 1. And creature tokens you control have Death Touch. There's also an Eagles of the North, Ungol Patrol, whatever. Frodo Baggins for green-white, and a Generous Ent for more forest cycling. But I think I'm going to take Gothmog, and I'm probably thinking black-white at this point. Fitting in Old Man Willow and Generous Ent, probably. Alright, interesting pick here between Reprieve, which is basically a reprint of Remand, and Oath of the Grey Host, which is a card I wasn't particularly high on, but many other content creators seem to be. So our curve is not awful. I think I can fit in an Oath of the Grey Host. I think I'm going to try this card out for you all. It looks like a card that's not very good. I'm going to try it out today, and you'll find out using my gems whether or not it's any good. Ooh. Lots of decent stuff here. There's a Voracious Fellbeast and a Reprieve, which are both what I'm looking at. I've come pretty far down on Mirkwood Bat since the beginning of the format. We only have one 2-drop, kind of. I don't think we're hurting for late game, which is the Fellbeast. So I think I need to take the early play and Reprieve, as good as I think the Fellbeast is. Okay, now there's Mordor Muster, there's Took Reaper, Peregrine Took. So we had green-white open for us, we had black-white open for us, and potentially a green-black deck too, but I think I'll take another 2-drop and Took Reaper here. Alright, so there's another Gothmog, there's a Hobbit Sting, which is a card I do like as well. We don't have a ton of removal. And then the other cards are not ones I'm particularly high on, so I don't... As good as Radagast is, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to fit it in. I think I'd take a Gothmog here. Hobbit Sting could be the correct pick there, though. Ooh, Golem Patient Plotter is good. 2 mana 3/1. When it leaves the battlefield, the ring tempts you. You can pay 1 to sack a creature to bring it back to your hand. It's also an Uruk-hai Berserker, which is, I think, a fine-ish card. Rise of the Witch King, Ent's Fury. So, yeah, all three of our colors here in... What is this, Bant, I guess? Seem to be pretty open for us. Vanguard, Westfold Rider. I think I'll take the Vanguard over the Westfold Rider and the Black Breath. Need another 2-drop here. And now we get one anyway. Go ahead and take this 2-drop. On the wheel, we get another Eagles for cycling. We also get a Generous Ent for cycling. Okay. I think I'll take a second Generous Ent. That way we can probably play Radagast now. If we keep the Wizard's Rockets in the deck. Another 2-drop? Sure. A Combat Trick? Maybe. Mordor Muster? Maybe. Don't think I'm going to play that card here. Maybe Nasty End as well. Alright, so we've got 31 cards. The first few drafts of the format are also always super difficult to figure out what cards to cut, but we're going to do that together here in the next, in the deck building segment here. And you'll very quickly see why I have Combat Tricks rated relatively low in my tier lists that we talked about earlier. Because they're probably going to be the first cuts here. So we're not super aggressive. I mean, we can be. Golem plus Haunt is a really good combo. So when this is in the, or when this is on the battlefield and this is in the graveyard, you sacrifice this to bring this back, play it, then bring this back. And then keep rinsing and repeating. We're a little light on interaction here. We've got 2 Generous Ents, a Radagast, which can be splashed off of the Wizard's Rockets. We don't have any treasure makers, so... yeah, I don't think we can play the Radagast. Alright, they still got the whole lag thing happening in deck building here. So we're splashing Old Man Willow and 2 Generous Ents kind of off of themselves because they forest cycle. The East Farthing Farmer's not looking very good here. Everything else up here looks decent. So what down here is not great? See, I mean, the combat trick, I just keep coming back to the combat trick just not being outstanding. Morgul Knife Wound is probably one I'm willing to cut. Hobbit Sting I think needs to stay in for interaction. Currently have 17 lands here. Nasty End is good with Golem. It's good with Took Reapers. It's good with the Haunt. And that's about it. It's fine. Maybe we can cut a Westfold Rider? This doesn't seem to be exactly what our deck is doing here. Now we're at 17 creatures still. Mordor Muster, we're not really doing much with that additional Amass token, and then we need one more cut. And I keep coming back to the Nasty End just because everything else seems good. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 legendary creatures for double Errand Rider. That's pretty good. Oath of the Grey Host, I will keep it in just to at least give it a shot. I think 2 forests is fine. Yeah, I keep coming back to the Nasty End. That could be wrong, but I think it's what I'll do. So, yeah, I think this seems fine. The Old Man Willow is just such a good card. Trying to fit it in off of just 2 pretty high top-end cards that you can just cycle away for 1 mana is also, I think, totally fine to do. So, I think this is where I will end up in our first draft of the format, and I'm pretty decent high hopes for it. I think it's going to go all right. Running a couple cards that I'm suspect of, but again, that's what I do here on the channel. I do it for you so you don't have to waste your gems. I'll do that. See you in game 1. All right, we're on the play here with a pretty good start. Haunt into Golem here, so we'll go ahead and keep this. Full transparency, I did go ahead and... hold on, Took Reaper. I mean... I don't know. I'm going Golem next turn. I guess lands or spells are good draws after that, so I'll just bottom that one. I was going to say, as I did return one of the green, like that forest cycling Ents, and I put in Nasty End, which is the sacrifice spell. Also got to move this. Because the sacrifice spell, I think, is going to be really good in this deck. Looks like they have one of the cyclers here. Because, you know, sacrificing Golem, sacrificing the Haunt, all these are great things. And I want some more card advantage in the deck, too, so... perfect. Kind of. I just think Nasty End was going to be too good in this deck, so I wanted to find a way to include it. And I didn't think the big dumb cycler is going to be how this deck wins, necessarily. So. Alright, I think they have a counter spell, and if that's the case, I'm going to let them counter this. because we have another one. Alright, they're just doing stone cold nothing here. Alright. Well, that certainly does stop our board, unfortunately. This has Death Touch, so we could still attack here. The Eagles of the North is going to make our board pretty beefy. I could attack all and hit them for 5 down to 6. They would eat Gothmog, which is fine because we have another one next turn, even if we miss a land drop. Yeah, they would take 5 here. They would go to 6. Next turn, we would have Old Man Willow, which would get by this. Yeah, let's get in there. If they eat Gothmog, again, that's relatively okay because we just have another one coming. And they're all the way down at 6 now. See if they have a way to deal with Old Man Willow here. They can't play any X2 because then I could just sacrifice my Haunt and kill it. So... Looks like they have the fight spell. At least that's what I think. They're talking about... Yeah, they do have Ent's Fury. Now, do they have another one to kill Old Man Willow? I'll go ahead and make this the Ring Bearer. I wanted to do one of the 1/1s, and this might die next turn. Yeah, see, that's what they didn't really want to do. They might have the +2/+2 trick. And if that's the case, that makes this pretty good. I think they still have a Land Cycler, is all they've got here. So if it's +2/+2, that's still fine. Because I'm going to attack. I can sacrifice the 1/1. I can sacrifice the 2/1, kill the Watchdogs. The 2/1 can't be blocked. Let's see if they save it here. Yeah, Old Man Willow. That's why we're splashing this card in this deck. This card is so good. It just negated their entire play that turn. Alright, we go first again with Easterling Vanguard. We have at least Nasty End, sacrificing a decent little sack target here. So the hand is fine. Looks like they have a Land Cycler, more than likely, unless they have a white 1-drop. I can't think of any in the set. I'm wondering how easy it is to make the treasures off of Lobelia here. I mean, if they play... Yeah, like if we trade, then I can cast Lobelia. Alright, good. We'll get some treasures. There we go, take 2 treasures, and I think I'm gonna save them rather than just playing Took Reaper or something. I don't want to use both my treasures when I'm kind of mana screwed right now, so... East Farthing Farmer, sure. Alright, not too bad there. Do I want to hold up Nasty End, or do I just want to play Took Reaper? I think I'd like to hold up Nasty End. So, green, black, black, white. This has Menace. Just in case they try to kill one of these legendaries, I can use Nasty End to draw 3 cards here. Because the Took Reaper isn't very good on this board right now. So we'll see if they have like the deal 3 for Lobelia. Or the Fog on the Barrow Downs. So that's exactly why I held up Nasty End. I get to draw 3 cards now. This deck is so good. I mean, just look at this hand. Next turn we can play Denethor. So, if a creature died under your control this turn, make a 1/1. So it doesn't have to see it happen. So I can get rid of the Orc army and make a 1/1, and then future amasses just give me creatures, which are better than counters here. If I do this, then I can also sacrifice the Shire Terrace, because we're a little bit screwed on white right now. So what do they have for 1 red mana? The +1/+0 and First Strike? Potentially. They eat the 1/1 again, that's totally fine. Because it's effectively free for us right now. Play Denethor, get our 1/1, sacrifice Shire Terrace. And now Gothmog makes an additional 1/1 here. It also gives our 1/1s Death Touch. So that's pretty good. We don't need to find our green anymore because Old Man Willow is gone and done his duty this game. This means I can't sacrifice the Shire, but I think I'm gonna do it anyway. I would like to have sacrificed this, but I mean, I got to drain them here. If we draw any land, we can play Gothmog plus either of these two drops here, so Shire's probably not messing us up too much right now. I took Reaper. Okay. That's not exactly what I wanted. I can play the Fog on the Barrow Downs on the Farmer and then sacrifice the Shire. Could also play one of these two and sacrifice the Shire. Guess I'll do this one. I don't think I really want to pacifism one of these 2 creatures here, so. Yeah, I'll just pass. Can hold up Denethor if they go for some removal spell again. I'll probably trade with the Farmer if they let me. Can't block. Okay. So it currently can't block. Denethor is holding down the fort here. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I still think they have the +1/+0 combat trick here. The first strike one. If I trade Westfold Rider for that combat trick, that's probably okay. That's what I think they would do here. Because again, I get a 1/1 out of it too. Alright, bud, come on. Are we glitching here, or are they timing out? May have to get out and in. Okay, no, it was just them. Okay, Errand Rider of Gondor with a legendary. Hello. This card is so good. Okay, I will attack with the Rider, I think. Fine trading it for their combat trick. That gets it out of their hand here. It also means they stop getting all of these priority triggers. Sure. Okay, they didn't want to use it. They get tempted. That's also fine. I think I'll play Golem here. I can block with the 1/1 and the 3/1 on this thing. This can come back by sacrificing these 1/1s, and then I get another 1/1. That is quite the busted combo as long as I have Denethor here. Because this will leave, I'll get tempted. This will die. It can come back next turn by sacrificing the 1/1, and then I get another one. They might. This thing has trample too. Again, they still have that +1/+0 combat trick, I think, but again, just making them use it on resources that I don't particularly care about here, I think is fine. Because we have removal for that if we want it, so. So go ahead and use your trick. Okay, what do they have if they're not going to use it there? Denethor is actually a pretty good ring bearer. Well, not against the farmer, I suppose. Probably should have made it the 1/1. That's okay. Let's go to combat. Let's attack here. Sure. And now the question is, do I use Golem or just play a Took Reaper here? Oh, it goes to your hand. Oh, then it just tapped wrong. I thought it went back to the battlefield. Alright, well I would have done that if that was the case. I would have brought it back to the... I would have tapped correctly there. But we're still we're doing just fine with this board state. Because Golem is not very good against a 1/1. We still have removal here. We've got another Gothmog if they decide to deal with this one. Oh, okay. They have a cycler. They have the Eagles, I think. They have the 6-mana 3/3 that can be plain cycled for 1. It's not the combat trick. I had forgotten about the existence of those in the format. All of you were probably screaming at me like, no, it's probably just that. They haven't used it yet. It's probably just the plain cycler. That's what it is. And there it is. That's fine. Double removal spell here. These all have Death Touch. I don't really even need to remove that. So why don't we go attack with everything except the Reaper. They're going to block Gothmog. We have another one. That's fine. I don't care if we trade that one off. They can trade their token for one of these, but that's fine. We get another one. We're looking mighty fine in this game. That's what I thought. Ooh, please kill the Amass token. That would be great. Oh, nice. Now we get 2 more creatures with Gothmog. Sure. I thought he cost 1 as well in your hand. He cost 2 in your hand. That's fine. I miss playing all over the place here, but I think we're doing just fine. So this combo costs 3 every turn. Oligai Crusher, you can't block. Alright, let's get in with everything. Do we have a lethal? Down to 4. 3, 2, 1. Not quite. We can put him to 1. So yeah, we had the we had the insane combo that game, so could have put him to 1 there, but pretty good game nonetheless. Okay, we go first again with not a great curve here, but if we find a land, and especially if we find 2 lands, we will be just fine. We found a land. All right, do we lead? We have to lead on Denethor, so Errand Rider can draw a card. All right, Blue-Green Scry, here we go. This is the deck that I have high hopes for. Let's see if they can put it together. Please let Denethor survive. Oh, that's the combo right there. That's what I was worried about. That's what makes this deck so good. Now every turn they get a +1/+1 counter on that. Yeah. Alright, I'd like to get this going here. Make sure we can get closer to the end step of that. We're going to Fog on the Barrow Downs, the Chance-Met Elves here soon, I would think. Oh god. Alright. Here's Blue-Green Scry. This is why I think this deck is so good. Plus Lothlorien Lookout, which is a better card than I had originally thought. I have a treasure. So I can do Errand Rider and Fog here. Or I can hold up Reprieve. Oh, now I don't want to use my treasure. So I have to hold up Reprieve and then die to all of this. Yeah, this combo is too good. A 1/3 attacker that buffs both of their creatures with counters every single turn. If they have an answer to Errand Rider, they have another free attack. But I do have Reprieve up, so if their answer costs 3 or more mana. Or they're only blue. I mean, I have to try to get rid of this combo right now. I don't really have much of a choice. I mean, I have to take 11 right now? Please don't be able to deal with this. Okay. Well, I'll take 11. They have a 6/5 and a 5/4. Okay, well, we're definitely doing this. And then probably playing Old Man Willow here. And then I don't think I want to attack, because if I attack with something, I'm dead to 2 removal spells. I'd rather just play it safe, because if we can stabilize here, because we know they already have 1 removal, so there's 1. Scry to the bottom, get a counter. Another scry, get another counter. His combo is stupid. This only triggers once per turn. I can trade this off for both of these. Is that worth it? Probably so. They're not going to do it. Okay. So clearly have to play Gothmog here. Could play Shadow Summoning. I could hold up a food. I could hold up Nasty End. Definitely going to kill Elrond with the Orc army, I would think. Ooh, I could do it with the food, too. Do I need the food is the question. I don't think I do. Alright, they'll trade it off. And now our resources are so much higher than theirs. So I think I'll tap out here for Shadow Summoning. And yeah, now we've kind of turned the corner. They had the start, but we've turned the corner here. Butterbur, gaining 3 life a turn, effectively. Sure. Chance met elves again. I'll get in with Gothmog, because if they choose to trade, I have another one. And then, I just want to make sure I don't die on the backswing is the problem here. I only have 1 card in hand. They could just take all this and go take 11 here. Still have 2 creatures on the backside. Yeah, maybe I was overthinking it. I mean, we're at 4, so just had to make sure we didn't die. But we did turn the corner against a pretty potent start if we weren't able to deal with it. Alright, well, our first game on the draw this draft is probably going to have to start with a mulligan. We can find a plains and a forest, but that does nothing for casting any cards in our hand, so I think we have to get rid of that. And we end up with a pretty decent one here. So, We'll keep this. I guess I have to put back Hobbit Sting? Because I don't know when that's going to be cast here, and I want my lands. Now I wish I would have put back a swamp, but oh well. Rally at the Hornburg. That's a good card. Play the Took Reaper. Next turn, probably just trade this off and then get some treasures. Goodness gracious, they're going for it. So I can use this to just eat one of their 1/1s. I don't get any treasures off of the deal, but I think that's what I have to do. And if they have a combat trick, or if they have Smite the Deathless, then that's what they have. Okay, let's see if they have the 2-mana deal, or 1-mana deal 2 Ring Tempts You card. Scroll of Isildur, that's a good one. So tap 2 target creatures, put a stun counter, and then draw a card for each tapped creature. So what that tells me is that if I play Shadow Summoning next turn, they're going to draw 4 cards, which is really bad for me. So next turn, I can't play Shadow Summoning. It's just impossible. So I could play Shadow Summoning this turn and then use Shire Terrace. That seems fine. That way I don't give them extra draws off of their scroll here. They get some loot. Gotta remember to use the Shire Terrace here. It's one of those weird cards that, like, gotta use it at certain times. They do now have an instant. Interesting. Okay. Think we have to get green here. Reprieve. They're going to draw 2 here. I can hold up Nasty End and Reprieve as opposed to playing Errand Rider. I can play Errand Rider and then hope I draw a Plains. I think I'm going to play this. A land also lets us hold up Nasty End here. That's not great. No attacks. I don't want them drawing any more cards here. Really stuck on lands in, like, the worst way. Would really have liked to hold up Nasty End for as long as they've got, you know, stuff going on and removal and cards in hand to kill Lobelia. Alright, now we got a race. Oath of the Grey Host. Is it worth tapping out for that? If we're racing, then yeah. They got priority after we started attacking? No, they could block, but they didn't want to. All right, they go to 6. Next turn, if we play this right now, next turn they go to 3, but they do have a food. Can they deal 10 damage to us next turn? Boy, I hope not. They have like a hasting creature? I don't think they can deal 10 to us next turn. I'm going to play Oath of the Grey Host. We get a treasure token next turn. I guess I gave them 3 free life. But they're effectively dead next turn if I want them to be. Bitter Downfall deals 2 damage to them if I target anything. We currently have 7, 8 damage on board. Fiery Inscription is a build around I really want to try. Seems so good. So this is a card I currently don't have rated very highly. I think it's going up. This card has been better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I gave him 3 free life, but who cares? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, alright, they're going for it. Oh, they killed me! No! I stand corrected. They dealt 10 damage to me next turn. With a 1-1 on the battlefield. They dealt 10 damage to me. Well, good beats. Ah, look at this beauty. I suppose this is better. Alright, go ahead. Pretty good draw. Now, if they play a 2-drop and we trade, we can play Lobelia, get some treasures. But they say no. Wonder what they have now. Could be Smite the Deathless, who knows? Looks like it is. Theoden. Yikes. Alright, well, can't really do anything, so go ahead. Playing against red-white aggro with not a great hand that we also mulliganed, so this could be tough. Clear. Oh, they don't have a combat trick. Okay. I guess this is what we do. Sure. They had nothing on 4 mana with 3 different colors. Interesting. Here comes 5 mana. Let's see if they have like that haste creature. No, but it's a big boy. Oh, that's so bad. I really needed a land there. Probably among the worst cards we could have drawn. Yeah, it lets us play the Eagles, so I suppose we're keeping it. Now we're going to block Sack with the Haunt if our Denethor survives to combat Gimli. Yeah. Things are becoming difficult. Can we outrace this? Sure. Go to damage. I'm gonna be so mad if they have another Smite the Deathless. Looks like they don't. Alright, we can deal 5 to them next turn, and then sacrifice our whole board and kill them. Unless they have removal. Never mind. Alright. Well, that's not bad. Okay, so we can... Which is more of an issue, the Gimli or the Theoden? Probably Gimli. That could be wrong, though. Let's get rid of him. Oh, no. Well, forgot about that ability. Make 4 treasures, I suppose? And then end the turn. Denethor really needs to survive here. Yikes. Yikes. So I definitely killed the wrong creatures, what you're telling me. This is a problem. I don't think I get a chance to respond to this, do I? It just happens? No? Alright. Well, that was about the worst the way that turn could have possibly gone. I think that means we probably lose. So, the biggest mistake was not getting rid of Theoden here. Although, they still would have... That's not gonna do it. Now she still has to die. I don't know what can save us at this point. deal 4 to them anyway. Yeah, we punted this game away hard. I don't know if it was necessarily a punt getting rid of Gimli, but like they wouldn't have been able to attack here. They had the absolute perfect answer on the backside. They wouldn't have the 2/2, I suppose. I thought we had that in the bag. It's just frustrating. Not exactly. Block, take 5. Block here, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, eat the food, and somehow deal 5 damage to them next turn. I don't know, man. I guess this is dealing 3. Oh, need to deal 8 damage to them next turn? Yeah, giving them the food has turned out to be a really big downside of this card. So maybe we somehow win if I didn't Hobbit Sting the Gimli here, but I mean, they had the answer to Denethor either way, so it didn't really matter. Still would have had to chump this thing at some point there. Double blue. Oh, if they play Faramir, I'm just quitting. Doesn't really matter here. We're effectively dead. One, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So no matter what we do, we lose anyway. I think we still lose that game based off of what happened there. Because he was going to be pinging us down as well. Sorry, stupid camera. Because of the rally, the banish got rid of something. Yeah, I think we still lose that game no matter what. So can't feel too bad about it necessarily. Hey, look, a hand we don't have to mulligan. I'll keep it. Lobelia on 3 has been just as good as I had hoped. Blue-red Flamesmith, sure. Play Vanguard. Happy to trade, even though Lobelia can't get us the treasures, but... Okay. Suppose now I hold up Lobelia. Okay, I didn't want to trade last time. What's gonna make them want to trade this time? I could play Westfold Rider to block this one too, and now their whole board is gummed up. We play the Oath of the Grey Host next turn, and then kind of get off to the races here. Because now we have blocks against their whole board currently. Another Flamesmith. This could be a problem. Smite the Deathless? Close. Scry to the top. Now we're probably going to die to double Flamesmith here. Alright, well let's try to get this going here. Knights of Dol Amroth, and still had priority. You draw your second card. Okay. Happy to trade. Do they have a cycler in hand or something? Oh, I think they have the deal 2 to any target at sorcery speed. Okay. So now we can play Took Reaper, hold up Lobelia here. We could also play... We have 6 mana? If I play this, I think they're going to kill it with their 2 mana deal any target, which I think is probably okay. Because then I can nasty end it. And the ring won't tempt them. Because I think that's what they have here. No plays? Alright. I guess I'll do this then. Go get the green. Make our tapped 3/1/1s here. I think I'll play Gothmog now. And still hold up Nasty End if they have removal for it. That also gives this Death Touch. No need to attack. We're not in a ton of pressure here. They did. Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank the Lord I have this. Otherwise our entire board is gone. That would deal 1 damage to the rest of our team. Instead I get to 2 for 1 them. That could have been so bad. Now I think we're doing just fine. I got double removal in hand. I don't really need to do that right now. Six mana. Sure. Okay. I don't need another plains, I don't think. End the turn. Could use Bitter Downfall if we like chump here and then use Bitter Downfall on it. Could also try to double block and then use Abelia to exile it. But if they have instant speed card draw, it's not that good. Could still Bitter Downfall, though, if they have instant speed card draw here. Okay. That is fine. Okay. I might just have lethal here. I don't even know. At this point, we have double removal spells, so we're just going to try to push some damage here. What does that even do? Copy the spell. Wow. Well, that's pretty good. Sure. Don't think that's very good at this point. Just goes back to their hand. They have like infinite mana here. Now they're just top decking and we have plenty of lethal threats and food to eat if we need to, so I think we're probably fine. That should do it. Fiery Inscription, good card, but won't quite save them here. Alright, got out of that one. Alright, here we go. Pretty decent hand here. Vanguard into Denethor. Can't really send that one back. So we'll keep it. Cycling Oliphant to go get a mountain. That's what makes these cards so valuable. Alright, got our splash color, not too bad, or splash mana. Red, black, what's the play here? Don't let it be that 2/2 goblin that pings my creatures when I block, because then I couldn't block. It's nothing. Fine by me. They have another cycler or something? If they don't do anything, that's going to make me suspect that they have a cycler here. And if it's the 6/5 troll, I'm going to want to make sure that doesn't stay on the battlefield for long. Pretty good. They got value out of Cast into the Fire here. It's not a card I would recommend putting in your deck too often, but they did get value out of it. Sure. Mordor Mustard. Draw a card, lose a life, amass one. Sure. Now what we can do is we can attack, and if they choose to block, then we play Denethor, make a 1/1. And if they don't, we still do the same thing. So, really hope they choose to block here. Darn. Now we have to hope Denethor survives, because if he doesn't survive, then our best creature's gone. We can't draw and keep the card off of Errand Rider. We won't hold up Nasty End, so really have to hope he survives here. Malhur Urkai Captains. That's the one that gets more counters put on things whenever... Okay. Sure, that's all fine. Okay. So something we can do here is we can attack, and if they choose to block with Malheur, we can Bitter Downfall and cast Errand Rider. I don't think they will, though. Let's go ahead and draw our card and keep it. Now we need just about one more turn. If we can survive this next turn with our board intact, Nasty End back up for Denethor is going to be quite good. But if Denethor dies here, things are not looking great. Okay, that's fine. Interesting. Does that have Menace? Oh, that's why. Okay. They just want to trade it for Errand Rider? I would be fine with that. Yeah, let's just start this train. If they've got nothing else to do here... I mean, I'll just hold back for a moment. Keep up my protection and my reprieve. Bitter Downfall can, you know, block this and then kill it while still holding up these two things. So that's all good. Until they prove to me that they have some pressure that I need to worry about. I think I'm fine here. Sure, you can have that. Reprieve is not looking great here. That's pretty good. But not really good enough because I can still double block. Analysis paralysis. I guess they just died because they were trying to make too much decisions. I also had 5 cards in hand to their 0, which is not very good for them. But I think we were doing just fine. Well, this hand would be incredible on the play. It's still a keep on the draw, so we're keeping it. But boy, how good would this be on the play. Hobbit Sting looking pretty good with this hand here. I don't know what to lead on here. I guess I'll lead on my 3-1. Because they could counter it and I can get it back. Which is exactly what happened here. Bilbo. Okay, I'll have to kill him here soon, because they are churning through the ring. Guess I'll play the Rider, and next turn I can play Shadow Summoning and Hobbit Sting here. That is a problem. Yeah, they countered our 3-1 and then played two good combo cards back to back here. So they're going to have a 4-4. And we're going to have to figure out a way to deal with it here. Because we're going to have to kill the Bilbo our turn. So we're going to play Shadow Summoning and Hobbit Sting down Bilbo here. And then figure out what to do about a 4-4. After they figure out what card to discard. Alright, discarded a counterspell. And they have a follow-up. No! Alright, well now we're dead. Now we're just like straight dead. They had the Ranger's Firebrand too. Alright, well we had a pretty good hand and they just owned us. They just owned us. Not really much we can do. You please don't kill one of our... You're making this so difficult. I hate this so much. I just hate this. Because now we're drawing a freaking Easterling Vanguard next turn, which does, like, nothing. Please don't. Don't mess with me anymore. I'm tired of this. Sure. Oh, they get to kill both of our creatures here. And then we draw a Vanguard here. Guys, this is like the worst this could possibly go. They've had like the perfect answer to everything we've played. And it's just such a demoralizing feeling, unfortunately. don't really have anything else I can do, so... Nice. Sure, and I'll draw a land to finish it, I'm sure. Basically. Block. I mean, we're not dead, I guess. Pretty darn close to it, though. Tap it down, block here, take 4. We're trying to survive, but not doing a great job at it. Go to 1. This game has just felt so hopeless. The deck is good, it's just we are not drawing particularly well. I mean, they played Bilbo into Knights and killed everything we had. So, what are we supposed to do about that? So, started off the format with a 5-3. Which, I don't know why I played that land. It doesn't really matter. So started off with a 5-3 that probably should have been at least a 6-3 or a 7-2. We got burned down from 10 that one game where they had a 1-1 in play. And that was it. And they somehow dealt 10 damage to us. I mean... The deck was really good. I think it's going to be one of the better black-white decks we're going to have all format, if we're being honest. I really like the inclusion of Nasty End. I don't know how much I like Oath of the Greyhost, if we're being honest. The food token that we gave our opponent both times I cast it ended up being pretty detrimental to our chances at winning. And it's very slow. So this deck is a little bit more aggressive than this. So if I was building it again, I'd probably... get rid of the Oath and just put in like another Westfold Rider and just try to beat down a little bit more. There's also a chance that something like this might even be good, you know, without the splash. That could also be pretty good with 16 lands and then even like put in a Knife Wound or something. That could even be better than playing with Willow, but I mean, oh well. 5-3, we'll take it. And you learned what I wanted to try to get across here today with Oath of the Greyhost. Started off pretty good. I even made a comment that it was pretty good, and then it ended up being a little bit worse. And Denethor is outstanding, and everything else here is also pretty good. Lobelia really good. So that is what it is. So thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for watching to the end of this video, and I'll see you next time for your daily draft.